Taurus, beloved guardian of the Earth's treasures, your soul now stands before an invisible threshold. Something ancient within you begins to stir, a calling not of sound, but of resonance, like the first breath of spring rising from winter's deep slumber. You may not see it yet, but the stars are conspiring in silence to lead you into a moment that will rewrite your path in ways you never imagined. The sun, your celestial spotlight, has been journeying through your sign, awakening your core essence with luminous warmth and clarity. As this solar transit culminates, you begin to feel an internal shedding, as if outdated layers of your identity were gently dissolving, to reveal a wiser, freer version of yourself. And then, like a sacred strike of lightning, the sun collides with Uranus, planet of revolution, disruption, and awakening, also residing in your sign. This rare celestial alignment awakens your dormant desires, shakes the walls of your comfort zones, and dares you to dream wilder. Uranus does not whisper, it electrifies. It is a divine interrupter, a higher pulse that invites you to break free from any pattern, belief, or routine that binds your spirit. You may feel restless, sudden ideas may flood your mind. Encounters may arrive like omens. This is not chaos, it is divine order masquerading as surprise. Meanwhile, Mercury squares Mars, agitating the waters of your communication and interactions. Words may come sharper than intended, or you may sense a rising fire in your chest, an urge to defend your truth, to be heard, to stand your ground. This is a test of mastery, Taurus. Can you root your voice in love, even when the winds of tension blow hard? You are not meant to avoid conflict, but to alchemize it into clarity. Adding to this sacred symphony, the full moon in Scorpio rises opposite your sun, bathing your house of partnerships in otherworldly light. This lunar portal is not gentle, it is transformative. It exposes the hidden threads that bind you to others, whether through love, pain, loyalty, or illusion. Relationships that are built on truth will deepen. Those built on fear may begin to unravel. Let them. What is meant to remain will root itself deeper. What is ready to leave will dissolve like mist under the morning light. These transits are not coincidental. They are deliberate echoes of your soul's readiness. You are being prepared to receive a great shift, a redirection that comes not from logic, but from alignment. You are no longer the Taurus who clings to the known out of fear. You are becoming the Taurus who trusts the unknown out of faith. And yet, there is more. As Saturn enters Aries, the final house of your zodiacal cycle, you're invited to confront the silent spaces of your past. Karma, ancestral memory, unfinished dreams. This transit beckons you to bring order to what has long been hidden in shadow. It's a sacred pruning. You cannot carry all that you once did. Some burdens must be laid down, not out of defeat, but to make room for the sacred new. Underneath all of this cosmic choreography lies a truth you may have forgotten. Your life is not random. Your timing is not flawed. The changes pressing upon you are not punishments, they are permissions. Permissions to rise, to speak, to shed, to rebuild, to receive. Taurus, this is your moment of sacred awakening. You may not believe the magnitude of what is about to unfold, but the soul within you already knows, and it waits with quiet strength, ready to meet the miracle that approaches. Dear Taurus, you've just walked through the doorway of sacred remembrance. Now speak your truth into the ethers. Write this decree in the comments below. I embrace the unexpected, trusting that each change guides me closer to my true self. This simple act will align you with the divine flow already moving through your life. Speak it, feel it, trust it. The universe has already begun to respond. There are times in life when we move through the world as if in sleep, performing tasks, honoring duties, maintaining appearances, until one day something shifts, not by force, but by grace. Something whispers within, this is not where you're meant to stop. This, Taurus, is that moment for you. The celestial wheel spins now with urgency. and you are no longer being asked to wait. The energy that surrounds you is ripe with divine orchestration. The Rueda de la Fortuna, the wheel of fortune, has turned in your favor, but it does not arrive with noise. It comes cloaked in what may appear to be coincidence. A conversation overheard, a message received in passing, a moment of intuition so precise it takes your breath away. These are not accidents. These are signatures of spirit marking the path before you. Many of you have recently awakened to a truth that could no longer be denied, a relationship that no longer nourishes, a job that has become a prison, a city that feels more like exile than home. And yet, in that very recognition lies your liberation. The Page of Swords enters your field, eyes sharp, mind alert, soul yearning. This archetype within you seeks knowledge, clarity, movement. It refuses to sleep through another season. You have begun, consciously or not, to gather pieces of your own map. Maybe you've started researching a new path, sensing a call to relocate, to leave a role, or to pursue an ancient passion that had long been buried under obligation. These nudges are not to be ignored. They are soul codes, urging you to remember the contract you made with the universe before you took form. As you take these first steps, however uncertain, they will be met with unseen support. The Nine of Pentacles glows around you, an omen of self-sufficiency and earned radiance. You are not merely surviving anymore. You are beginning to thrive. Every moment you choose authenticity over approval, clarity over comfort, presence over distraction, your field expands. The universe watches, and it responds. And so do others. Taurus, there are eyes on you, some out of admiration, others out of envy. There may be whispers, there may be echoes of old judgments, but they cannot touch you unless you let them in. You are protected, you are discerning. The same intuition that guided you through your darkest nights now guards your gates with quiet power. Even more, there are allies hidden in plain sight. A woman, perhaps older, perhaps silent, observes you with kindness. She has walked this path. She knows what it costs to break cycles and to rise. She may offer guidance, or perhaps she already has, through a word, a gesture, a memory. She is part of your protection. Your appearance is shifting too. As your spirit rises, so too does your physical glow. You are becoming more magnetic, not only because of how you look, but because of what you are radiating. Truth, resilience, self-love. This is your beauty now, earned, lived, undeniable. But the most sacred shifts are those you cannot yet see. The World card, joined by the Wheel, speaks of endings not as loss, but as completions, contracts that have fulfilled their purpose, cycles that now release you. You may not have planned what's about to arrive, but it was always part of your story. The miracle is not what happens, it's that you were finally ready to receive it. If you are single, love is drawing near. Not the love of fantasy or repetition, but the love that meets you where you've grown. A chance meeting, an invitation, an unexpected moment could spark what your soul has been calling forth in silence. If you are partnered, a shared vision comes into focus. Something you've both yearned for, perhaps a home, a child, a deeper union, begins to manifest in real time. You are not alone in your becoming. Your mirror walks with you. And if you've recently walked away from something you thought you'd never let go, the reward is approaching, a sacred realignment, a gesture from the universe that says you were right to trust your soul. This is the divine threshold. Do not fear the closing of doors, Taurus. Each one seals behind you so that something greater can open before you. You are not walking alone, Taurus. Even when your steps seem uncertain or the path ahead feels shrouded in fog, you are surrounded by guides, by ancestors, by unseen allies who hold your name like a flame in the dark. They speak not in words, but in signs, synchronicities, repeated dreams, feathers at your feet, the way your heart stirs without warning. These are not random, these are messages. You are being remembered by the invisible world. As the cosmos unfolds, your spiritual team becomes more active. The house of the family, your fourth house, is illuminated by divine attention. Matters related to ancestry, home, roots, and even karmic legacies are rising to the surface. Some of you may feel compelled to revisit old family ties or resolve hidden wounds passed down through generations. Others may be drawn to protect or heal a beloved figure in your life, a matriarch perhaps, whose presence has long held silent strength. Know this, you are the bridge. What you heal now is not just yours. It echoes backwards and forwards through time. Documents, inheritances, migration issues, or legal affairs tied to property and family may come into motion. If you've been investigating something long buried, a lost truth, a personal history, or a lingering question, answers are closer than you think. And they may come through unlikely means: a forgotten letter, a conversation overheard, an elder who finally speaks. Simultaneously, your second house, the house of value and resources, is being touched by the hand of fate. Finances that once felt blocked begin to shift. Unexpected income, debt resolution, or a long-awaited opportunity may appear just as you start believing again. And it won't feel forced. It will feel natural, like water finding its way back to the ocean. You may be surprised to find yourself enjoying luxuries you had once dismissed. A spontaneous trip, a gift you didn't expect, or simply the ease of not needing to count every coin. These are not indulgences, they are reflections of the energy you are now embodying, that of trust, worthiness, and receptivity. Still, beneath all the outer changes, there lies something far more miraculous, the return of your heart to its own rhythm. The Ace of Cups rises as a blessing, a vessel of renewal. It signals new emotional beginnings, but not from desperation, from overflow. You are beginning to love differently, starting with yourself. No longer seeking validation in the mirror of others, you now find beauty in your own reflection. The kindness you once gave away too easily, you now pour inward. The promises you made to others, you now honor with yourself. This shift is magnetic, and in that space someone arrives. It may begin quietly, a name mentioned in passing, a stranger whose gaze lingers longer than expected, a familiar energy in an unfamiliar face. But make no mistake, this connection is guided. It may come through work, through travel, through chance, but it carries the imprint of divine orchestration. They are not here to save you. You've already saved yourself. They are here to join you, to build something sacred, if your heart is willing. If you are already in a partnership, expect it to deepen, not through grand declarations, but through the subtle ways they begin to understand you more fully. It may feel as if they are seeing you for the first time, and perhaps they are. Because you are no longer hiding. This person, whether new or familiar, is intelligent, not just in mind, but in spirit. They possess a wisdom that grounds you, a clarity that anchors your dreams into action. They are not perfect, but they are present. And their presence feels like peace. And still, there are others sent to walk with you. A doctor who appears at the right time, a mentor who offers wisdom, a stranger who opens a door. These are soul contracts activating, threads from past lives tugging gently back into your now. You may also find yourself letting go of someone whose energy no longer aligns, not out of anger, but from clarity. This is not rejection, it is release, and release is a sacred act. It makes room for the new. The road is opening, Taurus. Sacred companions are gathering, and you, beloved, are ready. Taurus, the road narrows now, not as a punishment, but as initiation. You have come far. The illusions that once enticed you have faded. The voices of doubt grow quieter, and ahead of you, two paths appear, each veiled, each uncertain. This is not a test of knowledge. It is a test of will, of soul. In this moment, the Seven of Cups rises like mist. Visions, options, fantasies, so many doors, so many possibilities. Which one is real? Which one leads you home? This is the riddle of the soul. Not everything that glitters is gold, and not every challenge is a curse. You must listen now, not with your mind, but with your body. The path that is yours will feel like breath returning to the lungs. You are choosing now, not just a job, a place, or a person, but a destiny. You may feel the pull to change careers, cities, even identities. You are not wrong. You are being called to leave the terrain of repetition and step into the realm of becoming. If your work no longer nourishes your spirit, the signs will grow louder. If your surroundings no longer reflect your soul, you may find yourself restless, scanning the horizon for something more. And if you stay still too long, life itself may move you. This is not a threat. It is a promise of realignment. The chariot appears, drawn by forces greater than your own will. It whispers of forward motion, of sacred momentum, but only when the mind and heart unite in direction. Otherwise, the wheels spin, the road blurs, and energy scatters. The universe is asking, are you willing to choose? Behind you lies a version of life built on endurance. Ahead, a life built on authenticity. To cross the bridge, you must walk through the 8 of Cups, leaving behind not what is bad, but what is no longer aligned. Comfort, familiarity, even affection can become cages if they bind you to stagnation. And so you walk. You don't run. You walk with reverence, with resolve. And in doing so, you shed layers not meant to cross with you. Then, like a sacred echo from your lineage, the Hierophant appears, the Pope, the keeper of sacred order. He does not scold, he blesses. He reminds you of your power to create structure, to rebuild what has crumbled, not through force, but through ritual, through devotion. He invites you to reweave your daily life with intention, your mornings, your meals, your work, your rest. All of it can become holy if done in alignment. The Hierophant also signals a deepening of your spiritual path, not as dogma, but as truth. Perhaps you will be drawn to a new practice, a teacher, a way of living that feels like home. Perhaps you will become the teacher, the guide, the one who speaks what others fear to name. But beware, where there is light, there is also shadow. The devil appears, not as evil, but as temptation, addiction, obsession, a craving to return to the known, even when it wounds you. This card comes to strip you of illusions. It shows you where you are still bound, by habits, by fears, by the stories you tell yourself. Yet alongside it stands the Ace of Swords, the blade of clarity. With one breath, one choice, one act of courage, you can sever the cords that once held you captive. This is not a battle, it is a decision. No more cycles, no more compromises that betray your soul. You are being invited to cut through the noise, to name your truth, to claim your voice. This is your sacred test. As the cosmic forces swirl around you, Saturn in Aries building discipline, Uranus in your sign, dismantling false foundations, and the full moon in Scorpio revealing emotional shadows, you are walking a razor's edge between who you were and who you are becoming. But do not fear this edge. You were born for this crossing. Taurus, the journey has tested your resolve, reawakened your soul, and now it delivers you to the final threshold, revelation. You have crossed fire and shadow, said goodbye to versions of yourself that once felt eternal, and now you are ready to see what was always hidden in plain sight. The 10 of Pentacles appears, not as a future fantasy, but as a reflection of what is possible now. Stability, legacy, a life not just survived, but lived in full expression. This is not a reward for perfection, it is a response to your truth. Abundance begins to flow again, not because you chased it, but because you aligned with it. The work you've done, seen and unseen, has summoned harvest. Opportunities may present themselves with effortless timing. Partnerships solidify, finances breathe, home becomes sanctuary again, and above it all the star gleams in your sky. It is not just hope, it is divine recognition, a moment when the universe shows you that you were never lost, only preparing. That your suffering was not for punishment, but purification. that your path, though winding, was always leading you here. The star sings of healing, not only of the body, but of the spirit. It calls you to step forward without armor, without apology, without delay. And so, something holy happens. The universe bends toward you. The chaos quiets. You find yourself standing in a version of life that once seemed unreachable. Not because it fell into your lap, but because you met it halfway, with courage, with patience, with tears. But let us not forget, what is sacred is also protected. The Four of Wands rises, shielding this new life from intrusion. It marks a spiritual threshold, celebration, union, divine grounding. If love has been calling, this is the season it arrives not as longing, but as presence. If you have been waiting for recognition, it arrives now, not with noise, but with reverence. Even your body begins to echo this shift, a lightness, a peace, a sense that the weight you carried so long has been replaced by a quiet knowing. You are home within yourself, and still, in the final act of grace, the Knight of Cups approaches, an offering, a message, a connection that softens everything. For some, this is a lover. For others, it is an opportunity. For all, it is the symbol of answered prayers. You are not the same Taurus who began this journey. You are the Taurus who dares to listen, who risks letting go, who trusts the silence between signs, who walks with spirit instead of fear. The unexpected wonder is no longer ahead of you. It is within you. You have become the miracle. To seal this reading, speak this truth aloud or write it in the sacred space of the comments. I receive what was always mine, peace, purpose, and the courage to live fully aligned. You breathe with this decree. You bless your journey, acknowledge your transformation, and welcome the divine gifts that now flow toward you.